All right, welcome back, week 3. We are ready to up pot things this week. So we're gonna mix up a little soil mix similar to what we did before. Probably not gonna measure all that great. And separate out some plants, so we'll show you how we do that. Also, I went to Walmart this morning to get soil, and I was kind of looking to see what all they had. And came across this soil that was like ripped. See how there's, I don't know if you can see, there's holes in the bags. And I was brave, and I normally hate like asking people for things, but I was like, be brave, you can do it. And so I went and asked if they discounted them. And so we got these big old bags of soil for $4 each. So I went ahead and got 3 bags of it. So that was very exciting. So we're just gonna mix this up real quick, and I got some compost from the garden. And then we'll put in all our other stuff. I'll probably end up putting the whole thing in there, because even if we don't use it all day, it's just like, it'll all be. Go ahead and start putting all this stuff in too. And I'm not gonna measure it super great. This is a bigger batch though. Here I am winging it again. I'm kind of notorious for that. I mean, like, I read and research and get an idea, and then
it's kind of like cooking.
I wing it. Yeah.
I mean, there is a science to it, but you can also
wing it
have a general.
Alright. I'm going to try to pour some of this. So these bags are 2 cubic feet, so it ended up being 6 cubic feet that I got for $12. I feel like that was pretty good. And if we don't need it all, which we probably won't, we'll just use it to add to beds, put in pots. There's always plenty that you can do with it.
Eventually it will get used.
Yeah. Oh, there's some good worms in this. There's some peat moss too, I just found. That I put in there at some point, apparently. Whew, we're gonna need showers. Like, all up the arms. I was just noticing there's dewberries growing in front of the greenhouse. Those white flowers over there.
What is a dewberry?
Dewberries. Dewberries are kind of like blackberries, but they're wild, and they're like seedier.
Okay.
I feel like. Oh gosh, my hands are really fluffy. All right, let's count. So the first thing we'll up pot is this purple cauliflower that the kids got me. Let's see, it looks like there's quite a few in there. So we will fill all of these. I'm gonna pull these out and kind of see how many there are. So I'm just gonna gently kind of break the soil off. Trying not to disturb the roots too terribly much. I'm gonna kind of lay them out and see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 13, and this pan will fit 12. So I'm gonna do 2 in 1 pot rather than have a pot that is extra. So anytime I have buckets that have collected rainwater, I like to use that because rainwater is really good for plants. So I just kind of filled this up. I probably filled it too full now that I think about it, because we are going to have to
put all these in there.
This rainwater is naturally nourishing, so anytime I have a bucket that has collected some, I use that to my advantage.
Why not? It's free.
Right? I'm going to put the label in here so that I don't forget what these are. Because anytime I've been like, oh, I'll remember what that is, I don't. I don't end up remembering what it is. So we were talking as we were getting everything set up about how we don't have any peppers because the peahen came in and ate all of our peppers. So I've been talking to other people to see where I might acquire some peppers. So I just wanted to encourage people that you don't necessarily have to spend a bunch of money on your plants if you find people who have extra and are willing to trade. So like we have a dairy cow and I'm not licensed to sell milk, but I sure can trade it. So I do that. I'll trade milk for plants. I've done that before. Butter, mozzarella, eggs. It's just, I bake bread, both sourdough and regular, and so I'll just figure out what it is that the person that has the plants I want wants and find a way to trade with them. Anyway, we can save money. So
we trade all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Honey, our body care products. We've gotten some really good stuff trading.
Yeah.
A couple years in a row, we got like full cases of salmon for trading honey.
Nice.
You just never know what people are willing to trade, and you can get some really good stuff.
So Angela and her husband have a honey company called Bee Kings that I've probably mentioned before, but she just mentioned their body care products. So little plug for that. The deodorant is the only natural deodorant I have ever used that I have actually felt like worked. So we're big addicts to that, and you better not ever stop making it, because if you do, you're gonna have to teach me how, and I don't want to.
We don't plan on it because we use it. Our family uses it.
Yeah.
It works great even for our teenage boys.
Like, and it gets hot and yucky here, and I've never, like, very rarely do I feel like I stink when I'm wearing that. And it's, you know, like, I've tried so many different natural deodorants, Tom's, and all, you know, all the different things, and this is the only one that I feel like I don't stink.
And just a little education, the one thing you have to be really careful with natural deodorant companies or natural products in general, do your research. Just because one was great 2 years ago doesn't mean it still is. A lot of those larger companies have, or maybe not larger companies, but those companies that are well-known name brands have sold out to larger companies. So like Tom's is now owned by Colgate.
Interesting.
Spies is owned by, I think it's Clorox or
really?
another big company like that, and they've started changing ingredients. So even though you've used something like that, you have to continually check your ingredient list when you buy them, because they'll switch them out without you knowing.
That stinks.
It is sad, but I mean, I get it.
It is good to know.
You can't. The smaller companies, you get offered, you know,
lots of money.
$800 million, which I think is what Spies sold for like
That's
6 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hard to pass up. It's like, do I want to retire or
Right.
Okay, so that one's all done. I'm going to take that in, and then we'll figure out which tomatoes we want to do for. If you don't have money for big, nice bottom water trays, these work great. And these I actually got from our church had a women's retreat this weekend, and it was catered. And when they were done, I was like, I'll wash that so that I could take it home, because it would just get thrown away otherwise. So these I didn't even buy, and these are really nice big ones. So I was hoping that we might be able to fit like all of one kind of tomato.
Well, and they're nice and sturdy. They're not really
these are really sturdy ones. Because normally I get cheap dollar store ones. Let's see. I'm thinking Roma first. What else? Let's see. So these. Ooh. This is a lot of tomatoes. It's so exciting. Look at all of these.
I mean, can you ever have too many tomatoes?
No, you cannot. You can never have enough tomatoes.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
Oh, you know what? Like, some of these still have new ones coming up. Maybe we should wait.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I'm thinking maybe we wait.
Some of these though that are bigger.
I wonder if I could just pull.
Nope, they got others coming up too.
Okay, let's see.
Can we just take the bigger ones without
Let me
disturbing
see.
the? I don't know.
I mean, I got it root and all.
Yeah. We can try.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to pull out just the bigger ones and see how successful I can be with that. Maybe I just do a couple and see how they are in like 2 days. And if they are, then add, you know.
This is mind blowing to see these tiny little things. I mean, that is going to provide for us.
know,
We're going to have
right?
some tasty eats off of that little thing that's.
So we're just going to experiment and pull out a few and go ahead and fill pots. And then in a couple of days, I can just come out here. And I mean, if the pots are already full, I'll just come out here and see how they're doing, and then from there I can just do this. Okay. So tomatoes like deep roots, and so tomatoes like to be really deep, and so even though like this right here was kind of where the soil was, I'm going to plant it way up to here. So that this is just barely sticking up from the ground. Now they don't like wet leaves, so you have to be careful with that, but I'm bottom watering, but they like deep roots, and so when we transplant into the garden, we'll actually plant them really deep as well. So this week I had to use what garden budget I had on soil, because I knew, I forgot this little guy. I knew some stuff was going to need to be up potted soon. So I'm hoping next week I will have a couple of bins to set up and expand our worm garden, because they are amazing little compost makers. So we'll be able to talk through how we do that and what I've learned about that so far. I really probably need to order more worms, but we'll see what I have left in my worm bin, and as long as we can make them be healthy, they'll reproduce themselves. Alright, so in the greenhouse, this is the tray of tomatoes that we decided not to pot quite yet, because there are some still coming up, especially here. Like you can see little ones still coming up, and then there's a weed that blew in as well. Then over here we've got holy basil, oregano. This I think is actually not what I put in there.
Because there's one in here too with the gold
Yeah,
rush.
I think those are something that blew in when I had the greenhouse open. But we have, these are huckleberry. I was thinking about repotting those, but I think I'll wait. And then what is this one? Oh, this is a Turkish eggplant, but this looks like one of those cauliflowers that maybe like accidentally got put over here. I wonder if I can pull it up without breaking it. And oh yeah, I did. I'll add that to those. So these are Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes. The dill and cilantro, not coming up yet, but I had a lot of dill in the garden last year, so I'm hoping it's just gonna volunteer. Brad's Atomic Grape, black cherry, which are my favorite snacker tomatoes, red cherry, gold rush, a couple of little ground cherries. Hopefully that's what that is. I don't remember what they look like when they come up, because I don't have a lot of experience with them. More basil, more kinds of basil and lemon balms. Over here, I would have to look back and see what these are, but it's like, I know this one's chamomile, and there's different kales and cabbages in here. So they're not doing too shabby. Took them a while to come up. I feel like I'm behind, you know, when you like go to the feed store and there's all these plants. So this is our sad pepper tray that had a bunch, but the peahen came in here and ate them all. So there are a couple left. I'll have to look and see what kind of varieties they are. But there are, I replanted this, but I don't think it's been warm enough in here for them to come up. So we probably will still have some for the fall garden out of that. So honestly, like with peppers, your spring garden is your fall garden. If you can keep them alive all summer, they just keep producing. So if I grow some in here, I'll plant them whenever they're ready to go out to the garden, and then they just might not produce much until the fall. So, but peppers like it hot, so they go crazy in the later parts of the summer. So I think that's all we're doing in the greenhouse today. So maybe we will go start, you know, work on cleaning out the garden because it is not done. It's less fun than playing with live plants. But checking in on our onions. These are the yellow ones over here. And they're already like, look how tall that one's getting. That's exciting. And then down here, man, the red ones are really rocking it. Look how tall they are. So like, here's my, to compare to my hand. And that one's not very tall, but some of them, man, are like thick around. They're doing really well. Very exciting. We've thrown some leaves on top of mulch. We need more. I assigned a child to this job, so, you know, it didn't get done super well. You'll have to excuse the noise. I don't know if I showed last week what was here, but it was all grown up and green. And I put the pigs here to mow it back down, and I would say they've done that. They haven't even been here quite a week. They're about, Luna, hush baby. They're about to be rotating back there where there is green. But I gotta get some hot wire set up for that. But anyway, yeah, they've eaten everything. So they'll probably get quieter as we give them garden goodies. But we're just gonna start weeding the next row. So this is basil, and I never pulled it. But all these little seed pods are open, so I'm probably gonna have, I think this one was lemon. Either lemon or lime. So there's probably gonna be like a ton of lemon basil. So even if we don't, which we do have basil coming up, but even if we don't have a ton come up, we'll have a ton that we can dig up and transplant.
So does it have like a lemon flavor?
Yeah, kind of. It smells amazing. But it's really good if you do like basil lemonade. Sorry, there's like a, is that, what is that? Oh yeah. Did you see that giant thing? Uh-huh. Is that an animal? We have a wildlife or a Zoofari place opening up next to us. And sometimes I get really distracted by what's over there. Like, is that a structure or is that like a camel? Zoom in.
I can't tell. It doesn't seem to be moving, but...
Oh, it's too blurry while recording. Wow.
Is that a giraffe?
Oh my gosh, it would make me so happy if it was a giraffe. So I went and got Nate's binoculars because I'm dying to know what it is. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's like a statue, but I think they might be camels.
You think?
Wait, I swear it looks like a camel and an elephant.
Are they going to have camels and elephants?
I don't know how you...
I know they're going to have giraffes. Oh yeah, now I see something darker over there.
Yeah, it's like two next to each other.
Okay, the big one, I just saw a tail move on it. That has to be a giraffe.
I think it's a camel. I don't know. Like, it doesn't, it's not colored like a giraffe. Okay, you have to look through here. See what you think. We're supposed to be gardening, but you know. So, in Texas, there's this place.
Oh, it's definitely a camel.
So it's called Zoofari, and there's one in like North Carolina and Alabama and maybe California. But the guy has several across the state. But he bought this big property that runs next to us, so we have like one neighbor between us and the Zoofari. And for a long time, we've been able to see the llama. They actually don't open until March 25th. But we've seen like ostrich or emu or something run across. We see llama all the time.
Wait, that one does look like an elephant.
But this is, doesn't it? This is definitely the biggest things we've seen. I wonder if I can like look through the binoculars with the with the phone. So if you want to see the Zoofari from really far away, you can come to my house.
Okay, so the one is definitely a camel.
Look, whatever it is, looks like it's turned to the side now. The darker one. It looks like it's... So maybe they're like, have had more animals delivered. I was starting to think we would only ever get to see llama.
The one on the left is a camel, for sure. Oh yeah, it's moving. And
oh no, the other one's moving.
Okay, there's two camels together, a light one and a dark one.
And a dark one, okay.
But then,
They're so big.
they are really big. That's why I thought they were giraffes. But then...
I really wish I could see giraffes. I know they have giraffes because they're going to have like a you can feed the giraffes thing.
Maybe it's just the camels. I don't...
Ada wants to work there so very
those
bad.
are like alpacas or something over here.
Yeah. According to Google Lens, they're they're llama.
Oh, maybe they're llama.
Because I've looked it up.
The light and the dark one are definitely.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna see if I can get the camera to see it. Big Goober, I did try. I did try to put the binoculars up to the phone camera lens, but it did not so much work. Also, I can't be still enough. But anyway, very cool. So fun to have fun animals now. Back to the gardening. You never know what you're gonna get here. So we have all of this drip tape that is semi set up in here. But the problem is it wasn't set up well. I did it. It was set up for something else and I tried to move it over here and so nothing was cut to the right size, and I also didn't realize that we had a pressure thing that you're supposed to use on it, and so it was like leaking everywhere and it wasn't working really well. So this year I'm gonna pull it up and see if I have enough to actually lay it out correctly, because it is really nice to be able to just turn the faucet on and not have to stand out here and water every day in the heat of the summer. So we'll see if I can make that work. The pigs sure got quiet. I wonder why. Why did you get so quiet? Something I need to learn more about is all the like creepy crawlies that are in the soil and which ones are good and which ones are not. So that I'll know what to feed to the chickens.
I say you're better than I am because I would have just thrown that to the pigs.
Well, I mean, I know some of them are good for the soil. I mean, like, never do you want to throw out a nightcrawler, earthworm.
Oh, a worm I wouldn't.
But I'm not sure if that was some sort of worm or if that was...
Is that what you...
Yeah, that's another one. All right, YouTube. What is this? Let's see. Like, one end of it is kind of crunchy. Oh, it was moving. Now it's going to play dead. Like, I think it might be some sort of a cocoony thing, but it was moving. I don't know. Friend or foe, I don't know. The pigs like being next to the garden because they get lots of garden treats, but they're not going to stay there all summer. Last summer, was it last summer? No, I guess it was the summer before. Smee, my boy pig, stayed in the area next to the garden on the other side of the fence, and he loved it because if there was like a tomato that had gotten knocked off or like was real cat based or something, like if it was one that I was like, I don't mind sacrificing this, I would give it to him, and oh my gosh, it was like his favorite. He was very excited. He would just get all excited every time I came out to the garden. And I'd pull weeds and give to him. But that area, hopefully, I don't know, probably not by the fall, but by next spring is going to be more garden. I don't know. I guess it depends on how many plants Tim gives us. We might have to. We have a sweet man at church that has a bunch of extra plants that told Angela's husband to bring a truck. So.
Yes, he told us he has a garden for us since we don't have a place to do that on our own. He says, bring a truck, I have a garden for you. So I'm not really sure what to expect. It'll be like Christmas, though. I mean, when somebody tells you they've got free food.
Right? And a garden is free food. It just comes with a little bit of work. So I guess, you know, it's...
The hard work pays off.
Yeah, it does. Aw. Pretty little flower. One of my kids... Oh my gosh, look at the root on this.
Wow.
I pulled up this pretty little flower and it has a serious root. That's something the kids would bring in to me. I need to go back by the beehives and see if any of the flower seeds I threw out there back in November are coming up. It probably will be another month. It was just like a wildflower mix that had like blue bonnets and Indian paintbrushes and that kind of stuff. Do y'all have blue bonnets in Washington?
No. But I read somewhere bluebonnets are related to, I don't remember what it was. They're related to something else we had.
Okay.
Because when I saw them, I was like, oh, those look like,
Oh,
I
that's neat.
forget what it was. And Chris said, oh yeah, I looked it up because he thought that too, which was really odd because he doesn't know anything about plants. So
That's funny.
They look like, that's going to drive
I
me
thought that might
crazy.
have been it.
I don't know, I'll have to think about it.
Pig smack so loud. I always say if you're one of those people who can't handle noisy eaters, don't get pigs. They're the noisiest eaters ever.
Oh. I had to look it up, it was driving me crazy.
Oh, what is it?
Bluebonnets are related to lupins. They're in the
Lupins.
They're in the lupin family, and we had lupins that would grow like crazy. But they'd grow really tall.
Uh-huh.
Lupins could grow like 3-4 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And you'd get yellow and pink and purple
Oh,
and
that's so cool.
oranges and like I had my senior pictures in a big lupin field.
Aw. That's so pretty. You know, it's like a very Texan thing to do to go take pictures in the bluebonnets, especially take pictures of your kids in the bluebonnets. My oldest kid will be 16 in May, and we've done that once ever.
Hey, I have to say,
And with 2 of the kids, we didn't even have yet, so.
I mean, we did it last year. I think it was Easter Sunday. On
Uh-huh.
our way home, we stopped and took some family pictures and stuff in the bluebonnets because, like I said, they're a new thing to us.
Yeah.
But we learned it's illegal to pick bluebonnets.
Mm-hmm.
Why is
Because
that?
it's the state flower of Texas.
But it's illegal to pick the state flowers?
Supposedly.
Which is
Well,
crazy.
I don't know, because I've heard that my
I was
whole
like,
life.
whoops.
But I actually looked it up one time, and I think that it's not actually illegal. I think that it's like, depending on where it is.
Like if it's on state land or something.
Yeah, or like, you know, if it's on your own property, do whatever you
Well, of
want.
course.
But I think that it's not just straight up totally illegal. I think maybe that was one of those things that my generation's parents just told us so that we wouldn't pick the flower. Alright, so I use these trellises to grow tomatoes up. And then I have this little wire that I use to make them stay on there, but I also kind of weave them in and out. So I'm going to work on pulling these dead ones off. Oh wow, the roots here. Alright, so we finished this pretty much entire row. There's still a little bit over here we're working on, but this stays thyme and oregano here, but we got a lot accomplished today. Well, I'm holding this really funny. We got a lot accomplished today.
Next week is spring break, so maybe we'll have some more time.
So maybe we can recruit children and bribe them with homemade ice cream and get them to help us finish cleaning out the garden, and then we may move some of the trellises around, not the arch trellises because those are a pain and I don't want to move them, but some of these others so that we are ready when it is time to start moving stuff out here, which will be soon.
It'll be
It's
very
March,
soon.
what is today, March 7th? And our last frost date is March 25th. So
That is literally right around the corner.
yes, it is. I'm so excited. Anyway, so thanks for joining us today on Zoofari Spies. On Gabbing and Gardening. Gardening and gabbing.
Have a great week.
Just remember, pull the weeds, but don't smoke them.